Sport Production. I'm your host, Suttles. And before we get started, if you're new, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button to like the video. And also turn on your bell for all notifications so you can get all this big blue content. Let's get it. So, the schedule has been released. And the New York Giants 2021 season will begin with the Denver Broncos. Now, this is going to be a little schedule breakdown of what I think is going to happen, and I'm just going to go into a brief little description for each one of them. So let's get started with the home opener against the Denver Broncos. I believe that's going to be a win. Their defense isn't top-notch anymore. They don't even know who their quarterback is. The only real threat that Denver really has is Pat Shermer because he knows the tendencies of Daniel Jones, but I believe that our team will come out on top on this one. Now, week 2 against the Washington football team. Danny owns them. That's going to be another dub. He owns them. I don't care how great that defensive line is. Danny has been killing them ever since he's come into this league. That's going to be another dub. Now, this is where I believe that we're going to get our first loss of the season, and that is against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, a lot of people really think that the Atlanta Falcons, they're just trash because they had a high pick and things of that nature. But I believe that until this offense gets onto the field, I believe that we're going to have problems with teams that can put up high numbers. I believe our defense will be good enough to hold them under their average, but I don't know if our offense is going to be that prolific to being able to keep up with the scoring. So against the Falcons, I got us with a loss. Now for the Saints, week 4, I think that that's going to be a win. People are all scared to go down to the Dome, but it's not Drew Brees. We got to remember, it's going to be Jameis Winston or maybe even Taysom Hill. But remember, Jameis Winston had some firepower when he was down there in Tampa. He was just throwing interceptions left and right. Now, I understand his offensive coordinator is going to be Sean Payton, but at the end of the day, he still has those types of tendencies. And I believe that that's what's going to happen down there in the Bayou. So I write that off as a dub. The Cowboys. I don't have to say that much. It's the Cowboys. Last year, we really should have just swept the division. The Cowboys got a game on us. We gave up a big lead. But at the end of the day, their defense didn't make that many strides to being able to stand up against our offense. And I believe our defense will be able to shut down the Dallas Cowboys because that's not the same Dallas offense that we seen last year. Their offensive line is older. Dak Prescott just coming off an injury, and Zeke looked washed. So at the end of the day, that's going to be a dub. Now this is where the second loss comes into play against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, last year we played them to a T. They was averaging around 27 to 30 points. We held them to 17. And we were real close, but we couldn't get over that threshold. But now since they added Matthew Stafford, I do think they are going to get the dub on us. That's going to be our second loss of the season, but it's not going to be too harmful. The Carolina Panthers, this is going to be a dub for us. And just because Sam Darnold will be coming back to New York doesn't mean that he's going to perform well. The Panthers team, outside of Christian McCaffrey, really has nothing. They got Matt Rule, they got Joe Brady and everything of that nature. They did pretty well. There was some tryhards last year, but they really did fizzle out, and Sam Darnold's not the answer. Sam Darnold's just a typical starting quarterback, and at the end of the day, we're going to take them out. Now, this is the big dog, Kansas City Chiefs, and this is going to be the third loss of the season. I don't see us beating the Chiefs. They are too well-rounded, and they got the best quarterback in the league. So it's going to be very difficult to beat that team. I do believe we're going to put up a valiant effort, and I do believe that it's going to be kind of a shootout, and we're going to get a lot of respect from everybody else around the league after this game, but ultimately I think it's going to be a loss. The Las Vegas Raiders, they're in shambles out there. John Gruden, he starts off good, but then he does some head-spinning moves. They really don't know if he likes Derek Carr, if he doesn't like Derek Carr. They're doing the run game. It's just that, the Raiders are just all over the place. They're just like they just threw paint at the wall and was just like, yeah, I think that will stick. So, yeah, we're going to take them out. So that's going to be a dub for us. Now we're coming up to the nitty-gritty. Now we're going to be facing Tom Brady in the Super Bowl champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that's going to be a dub. And it's going to be a dub simply because the Giants are going to come back with a lot more ferocity than they did last year. Because they was close to beating them. Danny had a pretty bad game. But at the end of the day, that defense is going to be able to hold up against Tom Brady. And I believe that our offense will, at this point in the season, will have evolved and know what we're going to do and know what we do good and what we do bad. And we're going to get through. So that's going to be a dub for us. Week 12 against the Philadelphia Eagles. This is going to be a massacre. I can pretty much guarantee this is going to be a massacre. Remember this. This is going to be the one game that you are going to see a super aggressive Joe Judge. You're going to see a super aggressive type play call, and I would not be surprised if they try to run up the score. Now, when I'm saying run up the score, I'm not talking about like 40, 50 points. I don't see them doing that. What I do see is that the Giants will be dominating this game, like 14-3, and then they'll run on down, make a field goal, make it 17-3. They'll probably get the ball back with around like 5 minutes where we have the game at hand, and then they're going to keep on calling pass plays, and end up being like 24-3. And they're truly going to dominate the Eagles in this first game. Truly dominate them. Against the Miami Dolphins, this is where I pretty iffy on. I was going back and forth, but ultimately I see this as a dub. Because I don't think Tua is going to have the fortitude to stand up against our defense. Patrick Graham is going to really want to prove something. And I just believe that we're just going to take Miami out. Now, against the Chargers, Justin Herbert is good. We all know that. He has a big arm out there on the West Coast. But this is the kind of team that, if you've seen how I've been saying what our wins and losses are, the kind of team that we're going to have trouble with, which I believe at the beginning of the season, because I need to see our offense, how we're going to play, but we're going to have trouble with offenses that are able to put up big numbers and has at least a minimal, pretty good defense, and that's what the Chargers are. They're able to put up big numbers. Their defense isn't the best, but it's not extremely bad. So I think that that's going to be a loss with the Chargers. Back to Dallas. This will probably be around the time that Dallas will be hitting their stride. They'll probably be on like a 2-game win streak, and then we'll run into them. And I do think that Dallas is going to get us on this one. This is probably going to be a loss simply because at the end of the day, when you play a division rival, you play them twice throughout the year, it's very difficult to beat them twice. But for the Cowboys around this time, this is usually around the time where they'll start to hit their stride, but then after this game will be the point where they'll really start to downslide. Giants against the Eagles again, I don't even have to talk about it. All the bad blood that's been going on with the Eagles, we're sweeping the Eagles this year. Simple as that. That's a dub. Against the Chicago Bears, we have played them the last 2 years, and we have been very close, but we always end up losing. But now, by the time we've played them now, I believe Justin Fields will be playing. Their season will be halfway over, and we want to add to their loss total because we want them to get the best pick possible because guess who has it? We do. So that's a dub for us. And at the end of the season, we're playing the Washington team, and at this point, it's the last game of the season. If you counted it up, we'll be 11-5 at this point. This is really a toss-up game because it depends on what the seeding is, if we can move up, if we don't have to move up. So I believe that we will ultimately win, but it can also be a loss because depending on who exactly plays. So we're ending the season around 11-6 or 12-5. And this has been a Subtle Take for Easy 3 Sport Production. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share the video. Sharing is caring. Help the channel grow. Until next time.